Hello and welcome. I'm Melinda Kinlami. Tonight, no end in sight yet to the cycle of violence in parts of the country as 7 persons are killed in Nasarawa state a day after a raid on a ranch left over 70 cows dead. Senate and presidency to convene a national summit on the insecurity in the country as traditional rulers and security agencies continue their search for a solution. Administrative panel recommends the sack of the Director General of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Mr. Munir Gwazo, hours after the former NSE boss and the Minister of Finance appeared before the House of Representatives Committee. And trouble looms in Kenya as opposition presidential candidate Raila Odinga declares himself president in a symbolic inauguration. Government says the action is treason.
On Business News tonight, Nigeria's Finance Minister, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, says that this country's stock market is currently rated best performing stock market in the world due to its integrity and investors' confidence.
Home Bay Super Eagles coach Salisu Yusuf confirms Sunday Faleh and Daniel Itodo will miss Wednesday's semi-final clash against Sudan at the African Nations Championship in Morocco.
And from Abuja, President Buhari returns to Abuja after attending the 30th ordinary session of the AU in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
We begin tonight with security matters in Nasarawa state as an early morning attack on Kadarko village has left 7 people dead. The attack is believed to be a reprisal over the abduction of some herdsmen and the killing of over 70 cows in the community 2 days ago. The governor, Tanko Almakura, has visited the area to commiserate with the victims and assures them that investigations will be carried out to fish out the perpetrators.
Gunshots. Immediately we could come out. There was no way one could run away.
One killing too many. This is the case of various attacks in different parts of the country. It is the killing of 7 people in a sleepy Kadarko community in Kiana local government area of Nasarawa state, north-central Nigeria. The people attribute the incident to absence of security agencies in the area.
I saw Fulani men attacked me in my house with my mother and my elder brother. They killed my mom and my elder brother, and my younger sister was taken down to General Hospital Lafia.
Some residents are seen leaving the community for their safety. Following the attacks, Governor Tanko Almakura of Nasarawa State visits the community to sympathize with the people and give marching orders to the police command to fish out the killers.
I am sure if we put all hands on deck, we'll be able to identify who and where this criminality is coming from. That's why I've come with the members of the Security Council to ensure that we deploy a whole unit of mobile police to Kadarko within the next 24 hours.
Next, the governor quickly convenes a security meeting with the heads of security agencies, representatives of farmers and herdsmen to come up with ways of sustaining peace.
Giving people confidence, giving people rest of mind, because I am really touched when I saw the sea of people migrating from the abroad.
The leaders of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria and Tiv Development Association in the state have also resolved to commit to peaceful coexistence amongst their people.
We will go around and we are being advised by the state government to go around to Kiana local government, to Giza, all the villages, to see that we talk to our people so that we will live in peace.
We need to be in peace. We need to stay together. We need to develop this state because this is our own state.
For these people, the federal and state governments as well as relevant security bodies must intervene swiftly to end the killings of innocent citizens.
Now, the Senate is also worried about the security challenges facing the nation and is holding a national security summit to address the issue. The summit is expected to provide a platform for heads of security agencies, governors, traditional rulers and civil society organizations to find a solution to the crisis. The Senate Majority Leader, Senator Ahmed Lawan, explains that the summit will review the challenges faced by security agencies in performing their duties. The event, which is being put together in collaboration with the presidency, is expected to be declared open by the President, Muhammadu Buhari, with all state governors in attendance. The national summit, earlier set to hold on February the 1st, was postponed in honor of the late former Vice President, Dr. Alex Ekweme, who will be buried on Saturday. And the Senate is not alone. Amnesty International has asked the Nigerian government to do more to protect communities from clashes across the country, describing its response as slow and short. The director of Amnesty International in Nigeria, Mr. Osai Ojigo, insists that the government must totally change its response so it doesn't get out of hand. For the agency, clashes between herdsmen and farmers in Adamawa, Benue, Taraba, Ondo and Kaduna State have resulted in 168 deaths in January alone. It said, and I quote, "Hundreds of people lost their lives last year and the government is still not doing enough to protect communities from these violent clashes. Worse, the killers are getting away with it." Where the Nigerian security agencies did respond to communal violence, they used excessive or unlawful force, resulting in even more deaths and destruction. End of quote. And the traditional rulers are already walking the path as they search for a solution to the violence in different parts of the country. Led by the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Sa'ad III, Abubakar III, the monarchs who were meeting in the River State capital, Port Harcourt, believe they stand a better chance of reaching out to the man on the streets. Our correspondent, Emmanuel Ere, tells us more.
The 9th General Assembly of the National Council of Traditional Rulers, holding in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, coming amidst the security challenges in the country. The theme of the event, community policing as a catalyst to crime prevention. The role of traditional rulers is perhaps on point at this time. The president, who is represented by the Minister of Interior, Abdul Rahman Dambazao, the host governor, Yesom Wiki, and the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Sa'ad Abubakar, and his colleague traditional rulers across the country are here to look seriously into the issues.
It's left for us to request government agencies and the government at all levels to rise up to their responsibilities of providing security of life and property across the country.
Nigerians have been waiting to hear from their traditional rulers, whose kingdoms formed the building blocks of which eventually became the nation state of Nigeria. This institution must speak to power.
The Inspector General of Police explains why the role of these traditional rulers is critical at this time.
The duties and responsibilities of the police are the prevention and detection of crime, the apprehension and prosecution of offenders, the provision of law and order, the protection of life and property, and the due enforcement of all laws and regulations.
For the host governor, the fight against insecurity must be sincere and apolitical.
The general sense of insecurity across the land is taking a great toll on social and economic activities, thereby aggravating poverty and unemployment across the country.
The federal government seems to have its hands full and is looking to combat these security challenges once and for all.
I'm very worried about the persistent killings and kidnappings happening in our country, especially the wastage of innocent lives in different parts of the country, by whatever means it is called. which is sad and particularly condemnable.
Many believe the effort to address insecurity, especially in the face of mindless killings in some parts of the country, should not be paid lip service. And this General Assembly of the nation's traditional rulers is expected to throw up some practical ways to deal with the issues. Emmanuel Irei, Channels Television News.
An administrative panel has recommended the sack of the Director General of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Mr. Munir Gwazo, hours after the former NSC boss and the Minister of Finance appeared before the House of Representatives Committee in Abuja. The panel also recommended that the suspended SEC Director General be referred to the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission for further investigation of the allegation of using his position to influence the award of contracts.
It was on December 1st, 2017, when the House of Representatives mandated its Committee on Capital Market to intervene in the face-off between the Minister of Finance and the suspended Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Honorable members of this great committee,
Few months after, members of the committee as well as the parties involved were before the panel to state their sides of the story. The suspended Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission speaks on the illegality of his suspension and also denies awarding contract to his private companies while he was Director General of the Commission.
We noticed that the section of the public service rule that she quoted actually does not exist in the public service rule, because she quoted 03405 and 03406, which does not exist. But we anticipate that the intention was to make reference to 030405, 030405. And we also look at that section and strongly believe that that section does not give her that power to suspend me. Medusa has never had any business with SEC. The letter of suspension issued to me by the Honorable Minister alleged that Medusa was doing business in SEC. Medusa has never done any business in SEC. 2, Medusa has never done any business with any company that does business with SEC.
When the Minister of Finance was called to state her case, she says Mr. Gwazo's suspension was in the interest of the nation's capital market.
I think that the position that we took to suspend Mr. Munir was the right one. It instilled confidence in the capital market. It told investors that Nigeria takes seriously issues of integrity and that their funds, which we work very, very hard to attract into Nigeria, are safe. That decisions that are being taken by fit and proper persons. Mr. Gwazo claimed that he had resigned from the company, but the evidence we had from CAC showed him to still be a director and shareholder.
While no decision was taken by members of the committee on the matter, the chairman of the committee announced that other players in the industry will be given a chance to express their views on the matter. This, according to him, is to protect the nation's capital market, which just attained a global recognition.
Capital Market and Institutions, Honorable Yusuf Tajuddin.
Still in Abuja, but this time we're looking at legal matters. The Federal High Court has struck out a suit filed by the wife of the former president, Mrs. Patience Jonathan, against the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The presiding judge, Justice John Soho, who struck out the fundamental rights enforcement suit, held that contrary to her claim of indiscriminate harassment and freezing of her accounts without invitation, the steps taken by the EFCC is upon reasonable suspicion. The court also noted that Mrs. Jonathan did not tender any proper evidence to show how her rights to dignity were violated. In addition, Justice Soho observed that her lawyer failed to provide evidence showing how her residence was raided.